Y'all, that was a big ass fly. May she rest in peace.
To be or not to be. Not. Hold up. Bring the beat back. Stop. I ain't ready yet.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. Today's video is gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna talk about my whole entire nursing experience. I got my notes, so I am prepared to give you guys a good video. We're basically gonna discuss everything from the beginning. My thought process going into why I wanted to go into nursing. I also want to talk about the application process, and then we're gonna go from there, right? All the way to post-grad as a new RN, which I'm a new grad RN right now. I'm gonna give you guys the whole lowdown. You don't wanna miss this video. Obviously, this isn't the end all be all, so if you guys still have other questions after I even post this video, please do not hesitate to leave a comment down below. Also, babe, you're already here. Why not subscribe to the channel, right? Just give me a little subscribe, give me a little like. So, like I said, I'm gonna be using my notes, so if you see me looking down at my notebook, just mind your business. I really appreciate the feedback that I get on my videos because not only does it keep me motivated to post more, I do this because it's great if I can help somebody out. I didn't have the luxury of getting help when it came to starting the process of nursing school and what I should do and whatnot. So you guys are gonna get the real, the raw, the truth from me. And I would love to help anybody answer any questions. That's what I'm here for. So first we're gonna start off with my before nursing school journey. As you guys know, I had already worked in healthcare. I work in pharmacy. I also worked in pharmacy throughout my whole entire nursing school. Now, I applied for the evening and weekends program mainly because I have a full-time job and I knew that I have my bills, I'm going to be paying for school on my own. I still needed to be able to work during the day. That's another reason why I went to Chamberlain's, because they are one of the only schools that offer an evening and weekend nursing program. That was a really, really big deal to me. But there were some hiccups that we'll talk about later. Yeah, so I applied to the school in November of 2022. But I did not start the program until March of 2023. And so I just graduated this past May of 2026. So 3 years in an accelerated nursing program, baby, when I tell you it was hard, it was hard. It's not for the weak. And I will say this, obviously it was hard. It's a nursing program and it's accelerated at that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and be like, it was fine. I learned everything. It was pleasant, blah, 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 blah. It was one of the most accomplishing experiences of my life, but you better believe that it was the hardest, most difficult, most discouraging experience of my life as well. I think that honestly made me stronger and probably in the end will make me a better nurse. I went through a lot during that. I moved twice. I lost 50 pounds, which is beyond crazy. And at the end of it, I am a registered nurse. So I am currently 28 years old. I started this program when I was 25. I just turned 28. I had already moved out of my parents' house, had my own bills, and girl, when I tell you, the bills didn't stop because I was in nursing school. So I had to keep working. What I liked about this school specifically is all of the prerequisites were built into the 3-year curriculum already. So I did not have to take prerequisites and then apply for the nursing school, which was nice. So those were the two main reasons why I ended up going to Chamberlain. Also, my best friend Miranda, she started going to Chamberlain a little bit before me. That was another reason, it was a given. Ultimately, I got my degree, I'm registered, I got it from an accredited university, and that's really all that I can be thankful for. I got my license. When it comes to making your decision on what school you go to, realize that clinical experience will be different everywhere. Personally, my clinical experience, because I was on the evening and a weekend, I felt like it was a little lackluster. A lot of times the school put us at nursing homes. I know people in my cohort where their capstone was at a nursing home. So I will say, when you're looking at what school you want to go to, also take that into account. If you're in an evening weekend program, I will say that because our clinicals are on the weekend, that's typically when the staff is like lessened. We had a lot less flexibility when it came to our clinical experience. There were also some nurses that were very busy. I won't even say didn't want us to be there, but they were very busy. And so sometimes we felt as though we were a burden. A lot of my clinicals, I was paired with new grads. Just take that into consideration as well. I personally like learning from different ranges of people. It was nice. There were some people that have been there for 30 plus years. I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from the new grads because they just went through the process that we'll be going through once we had graduated. So clinical wise, be aware that if you were to choose Chamberlain, there's a possibility that a lot of your clinicals will be at nursing homes. And so that's just things to take into consideration. So like I said, I did work a full-time job. So I worked 40 hours and sometimes I worked more than 40 hours a week. And I still graduated from nursing school. So I'm letting you know that it's possible. Now I will say this, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. I didn't have that on top of nursing school, but I also didn't then have help, right? Financially. Like if you have a partner and they're able to take some of the financial load off of you, that's wonderful. I would say your biggest thing in nursing school that will help you get through nursing school is leaning on your family, leaning on your friends, leaning on your cohort, because without them, you won't be able to make it. You can't genuinely do everything alone. There are gonna be some things that you have to do alone, but you can't do everything alone. And that's just the truth. Cut and dry. Like, you're not gonna be able to work full time and also study 24/7. There may be some times when you have to skip class, like that's just the reality of it. So like having those people in your corner, having your cohort, if you miss a lecture, they give you notes. If you need to take a day off, if somebody could help you on your rent or help you on a bill, that's wonderful. Take what you can get at this point, right? Like beggars can't be choosers. And also take into account that it is a nursing program. So it's not, like I said, it's not gonna be easy, and that's gonna be the overall general consensus of this entire video. It's not going to be an easy skim by ride. You're going to be learning a lot of things. A lot of things are going to not make sense. A lot of things you're going to have to learn on your own. You walk into a classroom and you're not prepared, girl, you might as well just quit at that point. Because it's like, there is no way that you're going to be able to learn new information plus retain the information in a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour class. They're not gonna be able to teach you all that stuff. So a lot of it was like, I need to learn this stuff at home, then go into class, not relearn it, but like re-up on your information, and then take a test and a quiz every other day, because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was taking tests and quizzes and doing EDAPs. If I never have to look at an EDAPT ever again in my life, that would be fantastic. I will say, no, I wasn't cum laude, summa cum laude, blah, 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 all of that. I also didn't have the most amazing grades, right? I had a friend who always got A's. I wasn't that person. Did I get some A's? Yes. Did I get some B's? Yes. Did I get some C's? Yes. Did I have to retake a class? Absolutely. I also worked a full-time job. And I know a lot of people that are, like 90% of my cohort were moms. And so we all truly lived by the C's get degrees. Listen to me when I tell you this. At the end of the day, you graduate and you all have to take an exam. You go through school taking exams. You graduate and then you have to take an exam. We all take the same NCLEX. We're all gonna be the same licensed nurse, right? No one is going to really look at us differently if I wasn't cum laude, summa cum laude. They're gonna look at the fact that we graduated, we all have a BSN, and we all have our license. Jesus take the wheel, it's hot in here. Graduation wise, right? You go through nursing school, you make it through everything, you get your clinical hours. Now it's basically like, I'm gonna talk about the end of nursing school, right? I'm not gonna go into depth. If you guys want like an in-depth tutorial on how Chamberlain does its thing or how to go about how to go about it, if you guys want me to talk about the courses that I went into, I can say that in another video. Now it's graduation time, all right? So how it went for us is that in our capstone, they gave us UWorld to help us study and for the NCLEX. I utilized UWorld. I didn't utilize it too much. A lot of people are like, after I finish school, I'm going to like take a break and then I'm gonna take my NCLEX. I don't recommend that personally. I knew for me personally that if I didn't take my NCLEX as soon as possible, all that information that I learned from nursing school, out the window. I took my NCLEX before we walked across the stage and I passed on the first time. Somebody who has had to retake classes, somebody who did not do the best on every single test, somebody who got C's on exams, I passed my NCLEX on the first time. It's possible. I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak from my experience. I thought that the NCLEX was a little bit easier than other exams. Now, halfway through the NCLEX, the screen popped up and said, you're halfway through. I thought that it was over. I thought it was done for me because I did not hit the 85 questions. But my test did cut off at 85 questions. So yeah, the biggest thing is that our school did set us up. Granted, UWorld was factored into our tuition prices that kept changing throughout the years. It's another thing that you need to take into account when it comes to Chamberlain. Our tuition increased maybe like 4 or 5 times while we were there not even each year, like every few months there was a change that was made. So many changes kept happening, and so we were out of the loop, the teachers were out of the loop, and a lot of it was like just going with the flow. I like to say that we were the test dummies, and I truly hope that once we graduated they figured it out so that the next students didn't have to deal with what we dealt with. We went to a seminar taught by Mark Klemek. I learned a lot from that. It was like a 3-day seminar during the week, during the day. Now I'm in the evening weekend program, and you're telling me that I have to take 3 days off of work to go to a mandatory seminar where this man teaches us stuff that he already taught us in the videos that we were required to watch. That did piss me off. But in the end, I think it did help. So those were some tools that they gave us in regards to passing the NCLEX. We also were assigned a mentor, and so they helped like monitor how our progress was NCLEX wise and how ready we were to test. Mine was the dean, so that was an experience. But ultimately, I think I was happy that mine was the dean because she was on it. She made sure that I was ready. I messaged her and I was like, I scheduled my NCLEX for this date. Do you think that it's reasonable? She was like, absolutely. And then it was nice because if you passed your NCLEX, they said RN when you graduated. So that was nice. And that was like a big goal for mine that I set halfway through. I knew I wanted them to say that when I walked across the stage. So I was really proud. That was really like the nursing school aspect of it. The main things I take away in regards to that is it's not easy. It's not something that's going to make your life easier. It's hard. It's gonna be a struggle. You're gonna have to be okay when it comes to changes. Nothing will ever be the same. You have to take it day by day. You will crash out. There were many nights where me and my nursing school friends were crashing out, even over the littlest thing. And that's something that your friends and family have to take into account. I told people, I was like, I'm not gonna have time to see you. That does not mean that I don't love you. I just can't prioritize our friendships right now. Can prioritize seeing my parents. That was just something that they had to understand because I was doing this 80% on my own. Now, we've graduated, we passed our boards. I got my license in May of 2026. Now we're gonna talk about post-graduation. One thing that I hate is that you go through nursing school and they tell you nurses are needed, nurses are needed, nurses are always going to be needed. And then you graduate and you're jumping into the job market. They really don't help you much with that. And I don't know what's going on with the nursing market right now. I graduated and got licensed in May of 2026. It is currently almost August. I'm filming this on July 28th, and I just got my first job offer. I felt like betrayed. I felt bamboozled when it came to post-nursing school. I put in about 30 plus applications. I've interviewed for 4 positions now because I just had an interview today. Out of those 4 positions, 3 of them were at the hospital that I was currently working at as a pharmacy technician doing med histories in the ER. And 1 of them gave me a job offer. So you feel discouraged, right? There's a lot of people in your life that'll tell you, well, just be patient, it'll happen, just be patient, it'll happen. But what they fail to realize is that there's nothing worse than being licensed and not being able to work. For me, it was less about the money. For me, it was more about, I didn't want to lose the knowledge that I had because I wasn't using it. And it's not like I had my head stuck in books anymore. So not being able to find a job for almost 3 months was like a struggle for me. Like I was stressed, girl. And that was just my reality. That was a lot of people in my cohort's reality. The job market was just not what it was cracked up to be. But then you have like jobs that are kind of picky. When you start getting no's from med-surg unit, like I can understand a no from the ER, I can understand a no from a specialty, right? But when you start getting no's from med-surg units, and their excuse is that they don't have enough nurses to precept new grads, that's when I start to be like, so what are we supposed to do? Because like you have jobs that are like, we want experience, we want you to have experience, but like I can't get experience if you don't give me a job. So I'm just like here, right? Not knowing what to do with my life, stressed constantly because yeah, it is a financial thing, absolutely. And what's crazy is that I got an associate's degree, and once I graduated, now I have loans that I have to pay back that I took out a while ago. Because when you're in school, the loans are paused. But when you get out of school, you have to pay them. And I'm still currently paying the school, which is even more frustrating. So I'm like, you kind of gotta like get it together. Yeah, so job market right now, it isn't necessarily the best. It's not the worst. It could be worse, it could be better. So you gotta just roll with what you can get. Some hurdles that I had to go through is that I get tuition reimbursement through my job, and they require you to stay with the company. Not necessarily at the hospital that you're at, but they require you to stay with the company for at least a year, or you have to pay back what they gave you within the last 12 months. I had a $5,000 tuition reimbursement looming over my freaking head. Nobody at my job wanted to hire me. Then I started to branch out to other hospitals. At the end of the day, you then have to proceed to weigh your options. Do I want to keep getting no's from where I work just because I'll owe them $5 grand on top of still having to pay for school, because I still owe the school money and I'm still making payments to them to this day, almost 3 months post-grad. And now I've had student loans that have started up. Weighing my options, right? Or do I want to go to another hospital where I could possibly get in a specialty that may pay more, that may have better insurance? You never really know. A big thing that I don't think people talk to you about is that, like, the recruiting aspect of it. I understand that recruiters are busy, but when you apply for a job and there's really no way to follow up on it, it's kind of frustrating. And then the recruiters are like, their communication is just awful. You're not scheduling me anything. And some of my applications literally just timed out because they were open for too long. Like the place where I interviewed for today, I applied for a position back in May and I just interviewed today and it is the end of July. Crazy. So those are some of the hurdles that you're going to deal with post-grad, right, as a new grad. Now that's what I dealt with, right? Some of those hurdles you may deal with, some of them you may not. It really just comes with the territory. It comes with where you're located as well. And it comes with how much experience you have. If you're a PCT on a unit, they may just automatically give you the job. I do have a friend where that happened. This is my experience. It may not be your experience, so take with that what you will. My current boss, who I genuinely care about so much, she has been a big champion of mine, as well as some of the pharmacists that I work with. There were 2 pharmacists that reach out to the actual nursing managers on their floors, and that is the reason why I got interviews. People's opinion of you and how you present yourself to them and the relationships that you have matter way more than how well you did on a test, your grade point average, because you could be all of those things and not be able to get that reference from somebody, not be able to have somebody champion for you. That's what I prioritize. I prioritized loving the job and appreciating the people that I worked with, because I knew in the end, not that I would need them, I wanted them to speak on my character, how it truly is. So that's basically my experience post-grad wise, what I'm dealing with at this moment. I'm hoping that fingers crossed I get this job offer as well. I will say, tips and trick, never accept your first offer unless you truly have to. I was about to accept anything that they gave me, because at this point I'm like, I need a job. But I'm like, I've waited this long and I've made it this long post-grad that truly I could be a little bit picky when it comes to where I'm going to work and my values as a nurse. If you're going to go through this nursing experience, know that there will be high highs and very low lows. But at the end of the day will end. You will get through it. Can't say that I would recommend nursing school to everyone. I wouldn't tell you don't do it. I will never be a person that will tell you not to do something. But what I will tell you is be smart about it. Be intellectually and emotionally ready for it. My experience made me stronger. My experience made me a better nurse. My experience made me who I am today, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So that's my nursing school journey. If you guys have any other questions, please don't hesitate to comment them down below, or you can reach out to me on my social media. All my social media links are down below as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because there's definitely gonna be some more videos coming out. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.